you doing, YouTube? It's time to do a little bit of update on my Super Red Bristlenose Plecos breeding tank. Been doing good so far. The last video that I put out was on my breeder tank, which is a hang on the outside breeder box like this, where I saved a clutch of eggs out of the main tank that got abandoned. So if you haven't seen that video, go back to rewatch that video. And I would estimate that clutch of egg yielded me about 60 or 70, maybe 70 or 80, right about there. But I'm sad to report that over the past 2 or 3 days, I've lost maybe half of it or 2/3 of it. And what the condition of my breeder box looks like, as you can see on the upper left hand corner there, I still got about a group of less than 10 faithfuls. They tend to want to hang up there near the where the surface agitation is, where they get the most oxygen content into the water column. And a big major lesson learned from this experience was that after they were all hatched, their egg sacs were almost all fully diminished. I started feeding them I put a couple of these Pleco wafers in. This is the kind I get by Tetra Pro Pleco wafers. I put that in, and then I also dropped a few pellets of this fish food that's full of protein, which I feed to my African cichlids. That was the major mistake that I made, because Plecos don't need nearly as much protein as they would other fish, especially not at such a baby stage where they're barely hatching. So just yesterday, I've had to clean up a massive group of dead fry out of this tank, maybe 30 or 40 worth of dead bodies. And as you can see, overnight, there are a few more that's laying on the ground dead. So I'm hoping these remaining ones will survive. I have yet to see them eat anything in this tank. I think due to that ammonia spike out of the cichlid food, which they weren't able to consume, it pretty much fouled up the whole tank, even though this was continuously getting fresh water from the main tank. So that was the major culprit. But there was another major culprit, which happened 2 or 3 days ago, where I find the water flow out of this return was barely making any trickles. So then I've discovered that from the inlet here inside the tank, that's pretty much the inlet tube that you put inside the tank, it was clogged up with a bunch of junk, similar to what you see here. Sorry about the glare. What you see here, junk tends to collect on the bottom of that inlet. There's a grit on there, so if I don't keep that inlet clean, airflow gets clogged up, therefore water flow gets restricted. As you can see right now, it's still not too bad, it's still acceptable, but after making this video, I will remove that tube out and clear that restriction out of the way there, so I can get better water flow. So this is what I got left, maybe 20 left out of a bunch of at least 60 some 70, but it is what it is. And every couple months, 2-3 months, usually after a major water change, my male and female, I would say the female, which is hiding under here right now, he's usually on a 2-month clock. He would go all the way over here to one of these caves, get trapped in by the male, and lay a clutch of eggs. Matter of fact, I'm going to shine lights in there right now to see if that male is inside at all. I doubt it, because it's dirty. If the male was inside, he would have cleaned that cave already. Yep, I don't see anything. And as you can see, that's all. I keep this tank bottomless, and I used to come in here and clean off all the mold buildup every 2 or 3 days, and I've gotten lazy on it because of life. As you can see, there's a thick layer of mold over there by the sponge filter, and I just dropped these string beans in there. This is what I feed them: French cut style green beans by Del Monte, quality stuff. So I could use up this full can pretty quickly for all my Plecos throughout every one of my tanks. As you can see, they love it, chumming away happily. So I still got these 1-inchers available, maybe an order or two of a group of 6 if anybody is interested. And with any luck, I'll have to raise these babies up if they survive. We're in the dead of winter here, so not much is happening, but if I need to raise even more of them, I'll do more major water changes to try to increase the spawning frequency. The male is really shy. He's hiding under this piece of cholo wood. In the last video I called it driftwood, but it's cholo wood. Let me see if I can get him out of that wood to do a dance for you. Hang on a second. There he is. Come on, baby, dance for us. Ah, it's breakfast time. Get up and have some breakfast. As you can see, he's just clinging onto his cholo wood. I don't know why. Out of all the different spots throughout this tank, he's got all kinds of caves that he could take up, but he decided to claim that cholo wood. And I've used up my last bits of Indian almond leaves, so I'm gonna have to buy some more because they really help provide tannin in these pleco tanks, as well as lowering the pH. We got hard water here, so it's important to keep that pH low in the pleco tank. I guess those ones in the back, they're not hungry, or maybe I just spooked them. They're in the back not eating. This guy probably doesn't realize that I've just put food in the tank. And in the breeder box, once again, I don't see nobody eating. Maybe I just received a dumb clutch. Maybe that's why the father abandoned them, because he knew that these babies weren't gonna be the ones that would eat normally. What are the chances of that? That's not to say that I could have prevented the 2 mistakes that I made, though. Let this be a lesson to the pleco keepers out there. I haven't had this kind of accidents ruin a clutch of eggs before until this time, but hey, you live and you learn. So thank you very much for watching. In the meantime, happy super red pleco, bristlenose pleco fish keeping. And to those of you that celebrate the Lunar New Year, Happy New Year to us all. Take care.